What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to the channel. I am here with Phil and Andrew from Chromatic Games for the Week 2 Q&A of the Dungeon Defenders Juicy May Spectacular. What's going on, y'all?
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
Don't sound too excited. Yeah, don't sound too excited there, Phil.
I'm terrible with intros. Like, on the live streams we do, like, I still haven't perfected that.
Well, and too, everybody like talks over each other with like the slight delay that we're on, so it's always awkward anyway. But no, glad to be here. Appreciate you doing this again.
For sure, I'm excited for these questions.
Absolutely, it's been a fun month. The Warden just kicked off. That was kind of interesting, and in going rogue, it's still me personally in third-person games. I just always like to play ranged heroes. That's just in any game. Doesn't matter what it is. If it's third person, I like to shoot stuff. So for me, it was a little bit awkward jumping in on the Warden for the first time and going rogue, but it was a lot of fun. I mean, definitely seems like going to be a powerhouse of a hero.
Yeah, there's a lot of work there to try and make sure that the melee part felt good with also like being able to use her abilities at like range and stuff like that. Yeah,
we actually had a 2-player hard mode win, Warden only. So that was kind of, cool. That was fun. Yeah. Nice. All right, so let's hop right on into it. Now this week, obviously the Warden just launched. So next week we're probably going to have a lot more DD going rogue questions. But this week a lot of folks were curious about just what's to come in Dungeon Defenders Awaken. And to start right off, obviously it's an indie dev team, a tight-knit group of people. You guys, I'm sure, are constantly going in and out of various projects. But people are very curious, does DDA actually have a dedicated team working on it?
So our team actually works on both projects, and whatever that looks like changes with whatever we're currently focusing on. But it kind of works hand in hand, kind of like I think I mentioned a little bit last time with like the scalability of DDA and DDGR in relation to each other. So obviously, as we're working on DDGR and looking at things that work in that space, we also can take ideas from that and then, kind of test those out in an environment internally on DDA to see what works, or vice versa. So we have like these kind of play-testy sort of areas that we can, look for good ideas. And especially in DDGR, because we can test it out, and like, even if it's something that goes to live or anything like that, then we can test that out in a live environment where it doesn't necessarily, your progress resets every time, for the most part, outside of your talents and that sort of thing. So like, it's a relatively safe environment to test in. So those are the kind of things that we can do in DDGR that build DDA. And then, we've got a lot of assets in DDA that we use from DDGR. So yeah, our team works on both games at the same time. Okay, fantastic.
I think that was, people were curious, obviously with going rogue being a newer project, the perception is people at Chromatic are very excited about it, as you all should be. But that just brought that question of if it was split teams or if it's everybody working together or exactly how it was going. But definitely good to get an answer to that one there. Now, going through these, particularly on Going Rogue days, I've been kind of trying to do every other day. I do a Going Rogue day and then a Dungeon Defenders Awaken day. Particularly on the Going Rogue days, obviously we got lots of new shinies in Dungeon Defenders Going Rogue, and people want all the stuff in DDA, One of the things that was brought up multiple times as, I'm definitely not the speedrunner type. However, I have been dabbling with trying to pick up the pace just a little bit. So I've been pulsing the waves in Going Rogue, that having that option to pulse the wave and get the wave coming sooner. That is something that people have really expressed a big interest in, particularly for survival mode in Dungeon Defenders Awaken, since sometimes it is a fairly large time commitment. Is there any way that's a feature that would make it into DDA?
So I think when it comes to that feature, adding it in DDA, while it would be very good for people with like high-end systems that could probably benefit from it, it would ultimately be a huge like negative factor when it comes to performance. just the amount of stuff going on in DDA compared to DDGR, we're talking like 5 times as less stuff happening on screens.
Oh, for sure.
So probably not having a pulse feature like that, but there are things we can look at to try and kill more of the dead air and like keep enemies coming out more smoothly to fill that.
Right. That's what I assumed. I mean, it's a pretty big
feature.
You know, not including all the defenses and everything else. It's a large number of enemies difference for certain.
Like in DDA, a single pulse can be hundreds of enemies.
Right.
Like not a single pulse, but like it can be like 100 enemies coming out of all of the doors. And that
and then if you like span it more than once too, you're just like opening the floodgates.
Right. Absolutely. Okay, that's what I kind of assumed. But I think the struggle, it's not on every map, but there's a few maps where it feels like there is a kind of an excessive wait in between groups of mobs coming out. And like I said, it's not on every map, but that is something that was mentioned quite a bit, because it is pretty cool in Going Rogue being able to do that.
For sure.
You know, during that speedrun competition at launch, I was talking to Aramir quite a bit, and I'm like, dude, how are you getting the waves to come out so quick? You know, because I'm sitting here doing it, and like I'm waiting like 30 seconds, you know, and like you've got a wave coming before you even killed a wave. And he kept telling me I'm holding down G the whole time. And I'm thinking, well, what the hell? I'm hitting G, you know? And then I look down in the corner of the screen and I see that pulse wave, and I'm like, okay, maybe this is it.
Definitely a game changer for speed running there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's a pretty cool feature, no doubt. All right, so it is May 19th. It's my son's birthday. Oh, my God.
Hey,
I'm getting older than crap. Yeah, we're a week apart. Kind of weird. It's my birthday. Exactly 1 week later is my son's. And exactly 2 weeks later is my wife's.
Okay, so this is
just a birthday month.
Yeah.
And every time we've done these, we've had somebody with a birthday related to you, and it looks like, you know, assuming we keep with our schedule, we're going to have another birthday next week. So
it's crazy.
So you're welcome. I don't know.
He is a gamer, you know, imagine that. But he is, I'm assuming he is probably locked and loaded in some game right now. That's for sure. And speaking of the 19th and locked and loaded, we're 5 days away, y'all, from the PlayStation launch. Is everything locked and loaded and ready to go on that one?
So now there are times in my where I have to give public statements or type up, copy for different social media. And I, have to say, when it's ready, because we don't want to give out false information. So there are times when I have to speak kind of, I guess, murkily in a way. This is not one of those times. We are 100% ready to go. And actually at 10 a.m. Eastern time was when it will launch on the 24th. So I get to be very precise and upfront. The 24th, we're very excited for it. We know everybody's been waiting on it a long time, long before since, I got here. So I know I'm relatively new to the scene still, but I know everybody's been waiting for it. So Phil can probably speak to more of the excitement that he's feeling, because I know you've been working on this a while. So
yeah, it's definitely a long time coming, and we're now finally getting to be released on all platforms, which is going to be a huge relief for the entire team. That's
pretty awesome. I had to dust off the old PlayStation here. I am ready to go. I got my controllers charged up, and I've got a strong group of PlayStation friends that have been constantly prodding me, making sure that I've got everything updated and ready to go, and I'm going to have no excuses. So
nice.
So you said 10 a.m. Eastern time?
10 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay, so there you go, y'all. 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern on the 24th. So I think I'll probably be live all day that day playing it. I'm definitely looking forward to it. Now, speaking of the PlayStation launch, how's the game performing on PlayStation? Are you guys happy with it? Is it going to be locked at 30 frames? Is it going to be at 60 frames? What is your expectation for it on launch day?
So, the PlayStation 4 is pretty similar in performance to, the Xbox One.
Yeah.
So the game is not locked at 30. It will be unlocked to 60 FPS for both PlayStation 4 and 5. So we expect some good results for the PlayStation 4, because DDA is quite optimized for what it is and all the work that we've done for, getting it onto the Switch and stuff like that. So we expect it to do pretty well performance-wise. There may be some hiccups day one, stuff like that, but we'll be able to get this patched out if anything goes astray. And then as far as like PS5, like trying to get that higher than 60, it's something we can look at. I do think PS5 could probably handle higher than that, but there's some additional certification requirements in order to go above that 60 threshold.
Well, I think that's exciting. People will be stoked. I'm going to be playing it on a PS4. I don't have one of those shiny new ones yet, but I know a lot of people will be excited to know that it's not going to be locked at 30. So that is good stuff there for sure. Now, all right, this next one, it's kind of funny the way this one was worded. I've had people, multiple occasions, people literally told me, this is not a question, this is a demand. You have to make sure they do this, like, telling me that, communicate how much people really love it. And that is some of the new ability animations in Going Rogue. Now, particularly the Monk's Hero Boost, that little fire swirly going around. Mm-hmm. It looks amazingly cool. And people, like I said, they're not asking, will you guys add this to DDA? They are demanding. They want it so badly. So is there any chance that we're going to get that into Dungeon Defenders Awakened?
I definitely think, it's again, when it comes to things being added to DDGR, everything's on the table. Like we're going to look at what are the things players really like and what makes sense to bring it over to DDA to improve the experience there. So the animations, the new effects and stuff like that are all definitely part of that. And I think one thing that most people don't probably know, because it's a little bit more behind the scenes, is when we were working on DDGR, we actually got a new animator, and he's been doing a really great job on getting those assets created.
Oh, definitely. Well, kudos there. It definitely looks cool. I had people sending me messages. I didn't get a win on day one when DDGR launched, so I didn't have the monk unlocked, but I had people sending me messages saying, oh my god, wait till you see this monk boost. It just absolutely looks incredible.
And one of the things, kind of like the new animations and that sort of like details, I have to say this, or our producer Zach would just yell at me the next time I talk to him. And you already know where I'm going with this, Phil. There is the ensnare aura. If you look at it, and I'm sure you throw it down and just kind of walk away, or if you're in a single player mode, I don't know if ensnare aura is going to be your best choice in a lot of situations. But the animation on it is literally a turtle that like walks in a circle, and it's actually like really cute. So next time you get a chance, throw one down and take a look at it, and give us a thumbs up, because that one was really good. And I think that was by the same animator. I could be wrong on that, Phil.
It is.
All of the visuals look really good. To be honest, all of the different animations that change, whether it be from a hero or a tower, they all look really awesome. I haven't heard anyone say, I like the old version better or whatever. Everyone is full on board. They want to see this stuff in DDA. So I don't know the new animator, but you got to give him a pat on the back there and say good work next time you see them. That's for sure.
Certainly will. I'll relay the message at the very least. So
awesome. Now, obviously we went and did all those ability animations. One thing that is very, very noticeable in Going Rogue, and it's another one of those things, and I don't know what to think about this one personally, because I can see several different sides of the arguments. But mobility in Going Rogue feels so good. That dash is absolutely incredible. It feels, as far as like the flow of the game and getting around from lane to lane, it just feels really, really smooth. Any chance we're going to be able to get that? That's a big ask in DDA, I think.
The dash is a great way to get around the maps in DDGR. The one concern we'd have there when it comes to the dash is what input bindings we put it on for DDA. Because currently that is tied to left shift, which is the tower view. And then on controllers, we don't really have a lot of wiggle room there because there's just a lot of hero wheels, the ability wheels, stuff like that.
Controller's always a sneaky thing that a lot of people don't think about, and like on the previous games that I worked on, that kind of was the same situation. You're just like, we don't have any more keybinds for stuff.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
I didn't even think about that at all.
That'd be the big hurdle into getting that over to DDA. Not saying it won't happen, but that would be the main thing we'd have to look at. Also, it just comes to how does it also balance with like some of the challenge maps, like the assault map, being able to dash around. We'd have to add some limiters there probably.
Oh yeah.
Well as, like test of like game mode. Like
that would be a whole new level of parkour there.
Yeah. So just things like that, like if we have the input bindings and the balance of it. But I mean, it's definitely a nice feature in DDGR. And whenever I play DDA now, I keep hitting shift trying to dash around, and
I do the same thing.
It's definitely something I would want to see.
Going back and forth, it's been a little bit of a struggle since I've been bouncing back and forth between the games. But yeah, I'm constantly hitting shift.
Yeah, one of the funniest things, and if you go back and watch some of the old the DDA streams before we released DDGR, a couple of us were like, "Man, want to use that right now? We can't talk about it or whatever." And it was just like, I want to dash so bad right now. So, yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It adds big time to just kind of the feel of your mobility as you're getting around the map.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
All right, now here's the big ask. This, of course, is the most asked question of the week, and I'm prepared for y'all tell me, nope. Just saying. But, the Warden has been out in Dungeon Defenders Going Rogue for, 48 hours-ish now? Who's next?
Sounds about right, yeah. All right, so, I mentioned before that kind of my safe space is, in the murkiness of language that I can use to, give you a non-answer. I'm going to meet you in the middle on that, so I can't give you what's going to be next, but I can tell you that it will either be Eevee or the Rogue. We're working on both of those right now for the 1.0 release, trying to get them both in a good spot and kind of seeing, where that ends up being. So I can give you one of those two, and they'll both... I don't know if they'll necessarily come in that order, but they'll both be... I don't think there's anybody else that would sneak in between, but I don't want to obviously guarantee anything, but those are looking to be our next two characters.
That's pretty awesome. I'm excited to see... Well, I'm excited to see how you handle both of those. The Rogue in DDA right now, it's my go-to DPS character. I just love to play the Rogue, and one of the big aspects there comes back around to that mobility. The Rogue has it, and that's kind of nice. But the EV, the Robo Hotness has been a favorite of mine for the last decade through all the Dungeon Defenders games. So certainly super stoked to see that one as well. I'm excited to see what you guys do with both of them.
Yeah, you and me both. I think there's some really interesting directions, because obviously we do a little bit of tweaking to make each character a little more friendly to the DDGR scene, also just for a refreshed view on each of our heroes. So I'll be interested to see what the team comes up with for both of them.
Awesome.
There's definitely going to be a bunch of cool changes there coming with all the runes and stuff like that, being able to augment some of the abilities, especially for like EV. I think there'll be some cool stuff there.
Are you gonna spoil something, Phil? You gonna do it?
I am not gonna spoil anything on here.
You can do it, Phil. You can do it. No one will ever find out.
I've always been in DDA. I've always wanted Eevee to be more of a prevalent DPS hero. I just love the laser beam that she has.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I like a lot of her abilities, and I think she ends up, from my play at least, ends up being more of like support. And I agree. I'd like to see her do some more DPS-oriented things. So, yeah, make that happen, Phil.
It's up to you, Phil.
What we can do.
I'm excited about it. I mean, I love playing the EV in DDA right now. Of course, with the Rogue being the newest flavor, I've been doing that a lot more often. But I love the weapon swapping and. The decoy is such a useful tool. There's just lots of fun to be had with the EV. And then, of course, on that builder perspective, she's just beast mode. going to add to any build. So I love it. Love
sure.
me some EV. So that was all I had for you all this week. So we had that survey go out last week. Did you all get some responses from that, or is the survey still up?
It's still up. It'll be closing tomorrow. So
Yes.
if you haven't gotten your survey in, still got a little bit, depending on when this video goes out.
And
Yeah,
it's,
this one will be live Friday morning. So
Okay, so
if you haven't done the survey,
probably have a little bit of time.
yeah, I'll put a link to it down in the description. If you haven't done it, this one's quality of life. And, you know, when I was filling out mine, I had a few snarky suggestions in there. And then I've looked at it. I'm like, you know what? Phil's going to read these and he's going to know exactly who this is coming from. So
Our community would never put a suggestion in there that was not that was snarky. They would never do anything like that. I promise you.
oh, yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely been some good suggestions in there, and stuff we can work on.
Also
Awesome.
some troll stuff too, so which is always fun. Which is always funny to read. Like I'd like you to take the opportunity to actually fill out the survey. You know, I know it's fun to troll people as anybody, but give us some good feedback and don't troll us that much.
That's fair. That's fair. I think the
I know
key
by
here
asking for
is,
that's-
you know, particularly like with the results and everything listed from the previous surveys that you all did. I mean, I think the kicker here is get your opinions in, get your thoughts in, or Chromatic is not going to know what you think. So,
Well, yeah, and we know we've mentioned this a couple of times, but we're trying to be as transparent as possible. I mean, we can't obviously tell you every step of the development process, but we want to be able to take as much input from you and then, you know, push that to our internal channels and then, you know, make it actionable. So you're doing our best to be as transparent as we possibly can.
awesome. Well, do you all have anything to add, or I'm going to make sure to keep track of a complete list here for next week. I think with the Warden just launching, we will get a lot of Going Rogue questions next week. But then, of course, with the PlayStation in the mix as well,
Yep.
there's going to be a lot of DDA hype going on in the Dungeon Defenders world. That's for certain.
Yeah, no, we're definitely excited for that. We're excited for everything that's going on right now. You know, obviously, like you said, DDGR is, you know, kind of been our recent focus, but DDA is something that I know everybody else at the company is very excited for and very happy to be fulfilling that promise. Glad to have it out there finally.
Awesome. Well, good deal. Well, thank you all so much once again. Definitely appreciate the opportunity to get with you guys once a week. It's pretty kick-ass.
No problem.
And we will we'll keep the questions flowing. So we still got a few more weeks of this little Dungeon Defenders Month of May celebration. So we are, you know, the passion is there. We just, you know, we want it all, and we want it all now. You know, that's just kind of how we do it.
Of course.
Yeah, definitely. Like we're the same way, but you know, a little more. I got to plan out a little further than that. Unfortunately, we can't just give you everything every day.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
We'd like to.
But anyway, that's going to get it for this episode. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take it easy.
Later.